I think we're live now. So, hey guys, it's Rich here with the Kansas City's Networking Connection, and I'm here with Chris Roberts. And here in a second, I'm going to ask him some questions. But first, I want to start out with our standard disclaimer, the same as our other disclaimer. That is, for the record, we are not, nor will we ever be giving legal investment or health advice on this channel. Our opinions are our own. And if you need those services, you should seek competent advisors in those fields. This information is presented for entertainment purposes only. You have been warned. And the entire basis behind this group is that the Zig Ziglar quote, you can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And that's kind of what I do here. And that's what we're doing with Chris today. So welcome, Chris. Why don't you give everybody a little bit of background on what you do?
All right. Well, thanks for the invite, Rich. I'm a insurance agent here in Gardner. I've been here with this particular outfit for about 2 years now. I've been in the insurance business since 2012. Had the opportunity to make the switch over to where I live. And when you work for different insurance agencies, you kind of learn a little bit about what they value and things like that. We do things a little bit different here, where we're more concerned about proper coverages in place as opposed to just getting you in and trying to nickel and dime you down to make sure our price is better. We work with a lot of mortgage companies, real estate brokers, things like that, just to make sure that their clients have everything they need in place once they buy a new home or refinance or whatever they need to have done.
So how did you get started in this? Because I mean, that's that's what you were doing other stuff before, and then why don't you just kind of give us that background?
Well, so years ago, I was an electrician. I was in the construction trade. Absolutely loved it. Loved going to work every day. I was more into the residential side of things versus commercial. It just wasn't. I hated metal studs. They just make life so much more difficult.
I agree. I live in a house with them right now.
Yeah.
It's a great idea until you got to move some trim.
Right. One of my favorite things was climbing around up in the attic, running wire across the attic and just getting all that done. And then 2008 happened and the housing market kind of did what it did. You probably know that more than most anybody here. And it just got scary to get back into it once everything kind of settled down. So I started looking around, and my dad was a car salesman. I tried that. It was not for me. But the whole sales mentality really did kind of stick with me, being able to make your own hours, being able to go out and basically earning what you make versus just, I go back to when I was union electrician, and getting paid for coffee breaks was a little weird to me.
Yeah, you got to hunt it down and kill it now, man.
Right. So then 2012 came around, had an opportunity with farmers, and just have since, either done something with an insurance agency or for a while there I was selling roofs for a roofing company in Blue Springs. And of course, what do roofers 99% of the time have to deal with? Insurance agencies here in the Midwest.
Insurance. Yeah.
It's always been something I've done or had to deal with or have been a part of at some point. So
that kind of gets us how long you've been doing it too. That was my next question. So, and what were the biggest issues with getting started in this industry for you?
So the not knowing at first, the unknown, is always scary. At the time I had, me and my wife only had 3 kids. And it's one of those where you go from knowing what you're making every week, every 2 weeks to, jumping into something and hoping, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then now with 5 kids, I couldn't see me being able to do anything else because they're expensive.
Yeah, understatement of the decade right there. Probably the century.
Yeah. I mean, they try and tell you, each kid's more expensive than the next, or than the last, but I don't think you really see it until, kid 4.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, the
Well,
first two are expensive as well, but and then we sat back one day and we were talking. We were like, if we'd only had one, how spoiled would she be?
oh yeah, right. Oh, I know. And that's the thing. I mean, I'm an FFA dad now, and so we're
Mhm.
getting all kinds of animals and all kinds of other stuff that I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I hope I can afford to feed them too.
Well, it's a
So,
good thing you got enough land now, though.
oh man, that's the truth. At least there's something out there for them to eat. I hope so.
Yeah.
Um, so did anybody tell you when you transitioned into this that it wouldn't work? Like trying to.
Yes.
Oh, they did. Oh,
Oh yeah.
because I mean, that's the thing with insurance. Kind of like, oh, well, there's tons of insurance guys, and but it wouldn't seem like you would get that. What was the case with that? Was it the guys you worked with?
So it's more the guys you work with, a couple family members too. I mean, a lot of them just don't understand. Uh, it's a product everybody has to have.
Yes.
So I automatically have a better chance than an electrician or a roofing guy or something like that, because you talk to roofers and they may get a referral now and then, but I mean, your lifelong customers, maybe one job every 30 years. And that's if they even
Sometime we'll
remember
talk
to put
about
the
how
roof
many
on.
holsters people buy for their guns.
Well,
You
yeah,
know, like once they find the perfect one, they don't buy any until they buy another gun.
exactly.
So
So, and I'm the same way, um, on that front. But, you just get a lot of people that are like, that may have known you previously. I always tell people before I had kids, I didn't want to work. I just wanted to have fun and party. Soon as that first baby girl came home, I mean, something changed, and I don't
oh
know.
yeah, it's
Now I
flips the
can't.
switch for sure.
Yes, so now I have to work every day.
Yeah.
If I'm not working, something's wrong. Um, and so you just get a lot of people that have either standard jobs that know how much they're going to make, and when you tell them I could make this, but I could also make this,
Yeah.
um, they go, well, how can you even plan on that?
Well, yeah, right. I know when I started too, when I was doing whatever. I mean, I delivered pizzas and did all that fun stuff, and people are like, "Why are you doing this if this job's so great?" And I'm like, "It's the benefit in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're all building towards.
Oh yeah.
When you have that small business and do what you do or do what I do, it's we might have to suffer a little bit, some thin meals. I could have used a few more thin meals probably, but working for the pizza delivery, I got some free pizza.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is it's the long term game that I think a lot of us look at as small business owners, and that's what you got to focus on.
Oh yeah. And we
So
used to do like we would get those big the catering trays, right?
oh
The
yeah,
aluminum ones, and we'd make
uh-huh.
a whole thing of that of spaghetti, and it would go in the refrigerator. That was our
Right.
food for the week. Luckily, spaghetti tastes better every day. It's sitting in the refrigerator. So,
Well, I cooked. I took hamburger helper and
uh-huh.
added the hamburger, and then added 2 more cups of noodles,
Okay,
and that way it wasn't quite as salty, and it lasted 4 times as long. Now,
exactly.
nobody in my house likes hamburger helper anymore.
Right.
So I guess we burned out on it, so it's not a bad thing. um, so, do you love what you do now?
I do every day.
Yeah, that makes it easier to go to work, doesn't it?
Oh yes.
So, um, and how did you find that job? I mean, was like it was just working with the insurance adjusters and stuff on the roofs.
So here specifically, or
You can tell me whatever. I mean, it's
oh, okay.
whatever you want to do.
So originally, in 2012 when I did it, it was I was coming out of doing the electrical work, and back then you still had to look in the newspaper for stuff. It wasn't online yet. And then got into that, and a buddy of mine had owned the roofing company that I worked for. So when I got back into doing that, but yeah, it's mostly just been dealing with adjusters and kind of getting the feel from them on how things work, and just have enjoyed it. Most of the people I've come into contact with that has anything to do with what I do now. So
Well, that's the thing. That's, adjuster's another one of those jobs that, you never knew even existed,
Right.
and until, but that's, I think a young man's or a very, very, fit man's game, because you're up on those roofs, man,
True.
up and down that ladder. So that was kind of my thing. I was like, I'm too fat to fall off roofs anymore. So I'll bounce and hurt the concrete.
Yep.
So, and then I'll get a bill for that. So, if there was somebody watching who wanted to follow the same career path, would you recommend doing it the same way, or is there a better way to achieve what you've done?
I would say the best way to do it, because just like in real estate, just like in other things, there's licensing that's involved. Okay. And they make those tests to fail you. They really do.
Yeah, because most of the things on them aren't in your daily operation.
And so for me, it would be, if it's something that even remotely interests you, go in and talk to either your current insurance agent, if it's someone that you actually have an agent, other than, Geico or Progressive, where, you have to call them on the phone, go in and sit down and talk to them. Just ask them questions, be like, what do you guys do every day? How do you get started in this? What's the process? A lot of people, a lot of agencies have access to materials that you can look over to either study for or train for the examinations and whatnot, and kind of give you an idea. But until you actually talk to somebody that's been doing it, you're not going to know. It's just like a realtor. All I ever knew about realtors was when I was growing up and saw the 21 century.
Yeah, 21st century, the
commercials on TV in the middle of my cartoon show.
Remax, the big balloon.
Yeah. And you only see those if you're a kid watching cartoon shows on Saturday. So that's where, it's not all, flowers and happiness every day. There's a lot of stuff that we have to deal with. Unfortunately, being involved with life insurance, you're going to have clients that you take care of that have something bad happen to them.
Sure.
The benefit you draw from that, though, is that you're someone that they trust. You're someone that's going to help, make things easier. So if you want to talk to people a lot, if you want to be someone who is there in the worst of times, it's kind of a good little gig to have.
Well, and I will say you're right. It's a whole lot easier to do these jobs when you're an extrovert.
Yep.
You can do it as an introvert, but man, you're gonna have to work it, man. You're gonna have to get out of that comfort zone. So, if somebody's out there watching, what do you need help with now? If you could ask for one thing from just the everybody out there, what would that be?
So, what I need help with, realistically, I'm looking for more mortgage partners to work with. A lot of stuff nowadays, unfortunately, is going to that national. Everybody's using either Rocket Mortgage or groups that I could call and talk to one of their lenders, and I'll never speak to that lender again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that no relationship is no way to do anything.
And I'm still, unfortunately, with what we had gone through in the last year, I'm still wrapping my head around not meeting most people face to face, because I'm still come in, meet me, because I want to meet you. I want you to know who I am, not just my voice on the phone, right?
Right.
Here we're always open. You can always come in, sit down, and talk. If you're not comfortable with that, of course, I can always Zoom or talk to you on the phone. But I want to meet you. I don't want to just have a voice that I talk to every once in a while. So I look at that as kind of the same thing. So I'm looking for more real estate mortgage partners to just kind of work with. And it's one of those things where an insurance company, most people don't come to me when they're wanting to sell their house or wanting to buy their house or do something like that. What I do is a little bit different. I make sure that, if they're in the process or getting ready to do it, I make it as easy as possible to where you'll know, or whoever will know, that everything is in order. You're not having to worry about, calling me up and saying, hey, I've got this person. And then 2 weeks later, having to call me again and say, hey, did you get this finished? I'm going to do it that day.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
that's always the best way, man. It'll come to bite you if you don't.
yep. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. We're, you know, I don't look at these groups as trying to, sell particular people on insurance or
Sure.
anything like that. And if I ever, I am in I use roofers, I use plumbers, I use all these people that, if kind of give you an instance, I was changing the brakes on my wife's van a few months. I still do all my car work. It's what I grew up doing.
Right.
Plus, I don't want to pay somebody else for something I can do.
Yeah, right. Well,
Having,
and disc brakes, man. I mean, if you can't figure that out,
right. We had one of the lugs actually sheared off.
Oh.
And I was sitting there like, oh, Lord. Well, I got in touch with some mobile mechanic in Gardner. Didn't show up first day, finally came out the second day. I'm like, look, I'm at Allstate here. If, you do everything. And I wasn't asking for it for free or anything. I was like, you do what you're supposed to do. I mean, you're going to have somebody who deals with people. Hey, I'm broken down. Hey, this, that, the other. And he didn't show up like the next day and the next day. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So
right.
that's where what we were just talking about, if you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yes. Right. I use my calendar very effectively. It reminds me every day what the hell's going on. So a couple times a day, even.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, do you have a mentor that to help you grow your business?
I do. Most of the guy I work with here, Matt. But believe it or not, the first person who got me involved in networking, you had on 2 days ago.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Who's that?
I'm having one of those moments. He's going to hate me. Larry Snyder.
Larry Snyder. Yep. Larry, he knows everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, I'm sure he can get me in the White House no matter who's in there.
Exactly.
And that's what you want to be, man. That guy's amazing.
Yep. I went to one Johnson County group and, a lot of people were very nice and wanted to talk. He was the only one that actually made came over and sat down next to me, was reaching out, was like, hey, I've got this, that, and the other.
Oh,
You're more than welcome to come join. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
And, how nice is that guy? The first time I met him, I don't know if you watched that video, but, we were doing training for the sheriff's department. I was the active shooter and I shot him all day long and he still talked to me after we're done. I mean, you can't find people like that anymore.
Oh, no. But I feel like he's the same way as, what we look at, if you say you're going to do something.
Yeah.
You do it, because he knows a lot of people and you can fall off his list real quick.
Oh yeah. Right. Exactly. So
that's a big list you don't want to fall off of.
Nope. So how did you find that mentor then, that you got now?
It really was just getting in with someone that was real knowledgeable about how all this works. He's always had, now granted, there are times when it's like things look like they're maybe not going to work out, but he's always of that opinion that, hey, if we don't get this one, move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. Do everything you can. You're going to work every day. There are days I work on Saturdays, days I work on Sundays. Those are very few and far between anymore, but if I have to, I do. If I have a customer that says I can only meet you on a Saturday, guess what? I'll be in here on a Saturday.
Well, that's right, man. I tell the wife and kids frequently, look, if people are wanting to write me a check, I'm going to go show up for it.
Yep.
That's kind of the way it is. You're foolish to not to, because somebody else will step up and take that check.
Oh, totally.
So, and then the final question is, how can people get a hold of you now? Just so everybody knows, if you're watching, like and share this page with your friends and this video, and then in the description is your contact information. But why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you while you're here?
So super easy. Right here in Gardner, 510 West Main Street. We're right across from Meadowbrook Rehabilitation, literally in the same parking lot as Oak Brook Animal Hospital. You can always reach out to me via phone. We've got 913-856-9969 here. I check my emails every 10 minutes, it seems, some days. And that's listed on there as well, croberts9@allstate.com. we actually have this cool feature that we got in with. It's a digital business card. If you're a customer, you get to use it because it, gives you access to your policy and everything like that.
Oh, cool.
I've also given it to other people. Larry has it. I think you have it. A couple other people have it. It's real easy. You just text my name, chrisr, to 36260. Real simple referrals and stuff like that go through that. Gives you a way to contact me, email me as well. What's cool about that is instead of me saying, hey, so you've got somebody that, is it okay if I call them? Well, instead of doing that, I go, hey, why don't you reach out to them, make sure it's okay, put their information in here. As soon as I get it, that's how I know I can give them a call.
Right. Yeah. They've given it to you, so you get the green light.
Right. So everybody
you don't
knows
want to be that guy
that
chasing people who don't really.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for making time for us today. And then if you got anything, you can always reach out to me. So thank you guys for watching at home. Like I said, be sure to like this channel and the video and click the bell to get notifications. So anyway, I look forward to talking to you guys the next time. Thanks again, Chris, for coming out, and we'll talk to you later.